welcome back to my channel. So today's video is one I'm super excited for. If you guys saw my books that TikTok made me want to read video, I did one a couple weeks back and I'm doing a part 2. I had so much fun doing that video, so I will have it linked in the card up here if you guys want to check it out. That was the first one I did, so I'm not going to be repeating any of the books that I have recommended in there. I also wanted to make a small little short disclaimer too. This is off of what I saw from my TikTok For You page, so obviously it's stuff that's going to be more curated towards my interests, and they're just books that I hadn't heard much of and I wanted to share the intrigue with you guys. I also did make my TikTok private, not that I was ever... What? I also did make my TikTok public, not that it... Rocco. I also did make my TikTok public, not that it was ever private, but it's the same as my Goodreads username, so it's GeorgiaGrace28, and I will have it linked down below if you guys want to follow me on TikTok. I don't really do a lot of book videos. They're usually a lot of thirst traps, but that's okay. You want to know what? We're promoting confidence in 2021, so I will have that link down below. I do some like small book hauls and sometimes like little book updates, and I also keep it pretty updated in my bio with my books that I'm currently reading. So if you guys are interested, I'll have it linked down below, but without further ado, we're gonna get started on the books that I saw on my TikTok For You page. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the steamy, sexy romances. So the first one is going to be Blue-Eyed Devil by Lisa Kleypas. And this one I saw tagged from She's Busy Reading, and I was kind of like hesitant at first. I don't really remember what the overarching theme was between all of the books that she was recommending, but I just remember her talking about this one. I was a little hesitant at first, but essentially she was talking about it having some themes of domestic abuse in the book, and that is typically like I don't even want to say a trope because I don't feel like that's a good term to describe that, but just it's usually not a theme I go for in books. I don't enjoy reading about domestic abuse. It is really hard for me to read and get through, as I'm sure it is for a lot of people. And I'm usually not for it, but I recently read one of Colleen Hoover's books. I'm not going to say which one because I don't think it's recommended or said in the synopsis, but if you know, you know. And in that book, it still ended out with like a happily ever after. So I'm hoping the same will be for this book. I know she did say that the main character ends up with somebody else, a better love interest, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so the next book is actually a series, and it is the Bad Love series by Charlie Rose, and this was, I saw on @Aesthetic Book Talks account, and it's 3 books in a series, and she just gave like key terms, vibes, tropes of the like 3 books, and so the ones that were most notable were it's a small town, there's one book that's brother's best friend, another one that's like boss, and then like a boss romance, like a boss employee situation I'm expecting. And then the third one was like a roommate, friends with benefits kind of situation deal. It was pretty steamy, she said. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. The next book was The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, and this I saw on my TikTok For You page recommended by 2 people. The first one was Kimmy Books, and the second one was Kimmy's Bookshelf, and it was pitched as The Hating Game meets Unhoneymooners. Paco! Okay. Hopefully he won't kick it now. The Hating Game meets Unhoneymooners, but instead of like a hotel vacation, they are forced to go on a cruise together. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of The Hating Game. I've seen so many like aesthetic videos for the vibe of The Hating Game, and it honestly, I want to read the book that they're talking about because I didn't really get that great of a feeling from reading Hating Game. I just wasn't the biggest fan of it. So maybe The Spanish Love Deception will be better. I do have Unhoneymooners yeah, so I do have the Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I haven't read it yet, but when I do, I'll let you guys know. Okay, the next one was Until Friday Night by Abby Glines, and this was recommended by @ArianaJ0919. I don't really know what this is, but I think I've actually seen Abby Glines' daughter. I don't remember what her name is. It's something that also starts with an A, I think. Annabelle, maybe. I've seen her videos on my TikTok For You page too, and she has like outright said my mom is an author. Her name is Abby Glines. From what I understand of Until Friday Night, it's like, I'm assuming it's a high school set romance that might have football aspects into it. Who knows? And the next book was actually two, and it was Beautifully Cruel by J.T. Geisinger, and also Little Dove by Kayla Frost, and these were both recommended by BookBee Danny, and these were in a video where she was recommending books under the trope of like the possessive alpha male MC. Usually not a big fan of that trope, but she talked so positively about all of the books. Those are the two that just stuck out, and I'm pretty sure Beautifully Cruel, right? Beautifully Cruel has something to do with Irish Mafia. And I love a good accent, so maybe there will be some hope with that. Who knows? Next little subcategory is contemporary romances, and I only have two. The first one was The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I have no idea what this book is about. I genuinely couldn't tell you. It was recommended by Cat's X Library. I like JLA. I am currently over halfway done with The Crown of Gilded Bones. It's pretty saucy, very, very descriptive. So I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. The next one was The Roommate by Rosie Dannon, and I love this page. It's at Goodreads Bad Reviews. Literally so funny. Literally 4 words is enough to make me want to read a book, and she just said it was hella steamy. She said that people told her it was going to be super sexy, a lot of smut, and she wasn't ready for it. And that was enough for me to want to read it. The Roommate cover was also really cute. It looked very endearing. So those were my two contemporary romances. And then the next 3 books are, I also have nothing to contribute on synopsis. So the next one is Trill, the complete trilogy by Amanda Hawking, and this was recommended by @RainyDayReader. All I know is that the cover of the book in their TikTok was beautiful. I really liked the cover, so I did screenshot it. And I will try and read the book description from Goodreads. It says, when Wendy Everly was 6 years old, her mother was convinced she was a monster and tried to kill her. 11 years later, Wendy discovers her mother might have been right. She's not the person she always believed to be, and her whole life begins to unravel, all because of Finn Holmes. Finn is a mysterious guy who always seems to be watching her. Every encounter leaves her deeply shaken, though it has more to do with her fierce attraction to him than she'd ever admit. But it isn't long before he reveals the truth. Wendy is a changeling who was switched at birth, and he's come to take her home. Now Wendy's about to journey to a magical world she never knew existed, one that's both beautiful and frightening, and she must leave her old life behind to discover who she's meant to become. Sounds pretty good. Next one, speaking of beautiful covers, was Dearest Josephine by Caroline George, and I saw this on TikTok by @author Caroline George. Now, usually, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very hesitant when I see books on my TikTok For You page and the author is the one promoting it. And I know I have to get better about it, but the inner consumer in me is just like, why haven't I heard anybody else talk about this book? I'm a little hesitant. So I know it is a more newer release, but I did let this one slide because usually I try and pull from other bookish creators or just like individual content creators like myself on TikTok instead of going to an author recommending their own book. So that not only can I share cool recommendations with you guys, I can also promote other people's TikTok accounts because I think it's a great platform. I think it's really fun. But I let this one slide because she pitched it as Bridgerton meets Outlander. I've never seen Bridgerton. I really need to get on it because everyone has literally told me it's incredible. But something in here, whenever I hear the words Outlander, screams. So that's all I have to say. I'm gonna step off my pedestal. But Bridgerton meets Outlander. Who wouldn't want that, you know? So I will let at author Caroline George slide with her self-promotion. Go girl. The final book was not from TikTok. It was recommended from a pretty big booktuber. But I don't care because it literally sounded really, really good. And I'm gonna read you the recommendation. So it is The Bone-Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. Here's what I read. It's literally off of Goodreads, but it sounded really good. The Emperor's reign has lasted for decades, his mastery of bone-shard magic powering the animal-like constructs that maintain law and order. But now his rule is failing, and revolution is sweeping across the Empire's many islands. Lynn is the Emperor's daughter and spends her days trapped in a palace of locked doors and dark secrets. When her father refuses to recognize her as the heir to the throne, she vows to prove her worth by mastering the forbidden art of bone-shard magic. Yet such power carries a great cost, and when the revolution reaches the gates of the palace, Lynn must decide how far she's willing to go to claim her birthright and save her people. And I love a badass female character. So I'm down for it. It sounded really good. Again, I'm sorry it's not from TikTok. I usually do throw out a couple IG recommendations. I did in my last video. One had to sneak in this video. I do apologize. But those are all the recommendations. I know this video was a little bit shorter than the last one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really have fun. It's super easy for me to put this list together because when I tell you, I just scroll through TikTok for hours. And I usually, in any binge, will screenshot like 20 to 25 books. And these are just some of the more unheard of ones that I really hadn't heard anything about, because I know that there are super common ones I could recommend. I could probably do a whole nother episode of this video where I talk about books that TikTok recommended and I did read. Tons of Colleen Hoover, tons of Penelope Douglas. I haven't read it yet, but Chatter Me by Tara Mafi. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to say for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'll have my TikTok link down below if you guys want to follow me. If you don't, that's okay too. I understand. But that's gonna be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're all having a great day. Please watch Outlander, and as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.